Okay, can you become a professional runner later on in life, in your 30s, 40s and onwards? Can you reach your potential fitness-wise or running-wise in your 30s, 40s and onwards? I'm going to tell you exactly how you can become a professional runner, how you can get paid to run. I'm going to tell you exactly how I would do it if I started again today. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it when I became a professional runner. I got asked this question yesterday, how do I become a professional runner in my 40s? And I get asked this question quite a lot, probably for two reasons. First reason is because people want to turn their hobby or their passion into something they can do all day. They want to make it a professional career. They want to make a living out of it. That's natural. You first got to realize that when you turn your passion into a career, it becomes a job and something changes. So you have to realize that it's definitely worth trying. You've got to take the leap of faith. I would definitely suggest this to anybody, that take that leap of faith and give it a chance. But it changes a little bit, and so there are pros and cons to changing your career, changing your passion into a career. I also get asked this question a lot because I didn't take the orthodox route, the normal route to become a professional athlete. I became a professional athlete. I started running again when I was 27. I became a professional athlete 3 years later when I was 30. And so the typical route is you're pretty good in high school. The collegiate system is in the US. Amateur club system is in the UK. You run for your club. And then hopefully you get picked up and get a scholarship for a university, ideally in the US where they've got a great setup. And then there's nice seamless transition from running good times, running quick times, being a good athlete, being a good professional, and getting picked up by a pro team. That's the typical route. I'm going to tell you how you can do it later on in life and how I did it later on in life. Now, the old model for sponsorship and return on investment for companies, and that's how you've got to look at it. You've got to look at what can I do for you as a company versus what can they do for you. Got to look at it that way. What return on investment can I give a company and why would they sponsor me? That's the first question you've got to ask yourself. And the old sponsorship model was Mars Bar or Snickers. Even McDonald's used to sponsor my track and field meets and the cross country in the UK. That's mind blowing because, you know, make a child fat and then get them in shape again with cross country. It's hilarious. But Mars Bar, Snickers, McDonald's, Nike, Adidas, the old model was they're going to put you in their shoes and you're going to wear the logo across and hopefully you win a race or get a podium, and then the next day all over the newspapers or the Athletics Weekly or the Runner's World, your face and their brand is plastered all over those, and then they can look at that as a return on investment. And of course it's always been the way with sports apparel and shoe companies that they want the best sports people in the sport. They want to take market share. That's how you need to look at it. You need to, if you want to professionalize what you're doing as a passion, you need to look at it from a business point of view, and you need to look at it from the person's view who is going to be paying you to do what you love. That's what you need to do. Now, for me, I was in a recruitment career. I loved my career. It was perfect for me because I loved sport as a kid. I did nothing else but sport when I was a kid. And I got myself into a career where if I worked harder and if I worked smarter and analysed my performance, I would be paid more than the person next to me. It was exactly the same as running, exactly the same as football. If you play football better and you think smarter, you're going to win the game. If you run better, faster, you're going to win the race. That's simple. So recruitment and running are actually really simple, really similar. And so I was doing that and I was enjoying it. And then I took a gap to go cycle touring in Asia, and call it spiritual enlightenment or soul searching mission, but I was doing that for 12 months and I was on the bike for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, crossing land borders with my passport, a bit of money, and just one pair of cycling bib shorts and a cycling shirt. And I loved it. I loved the simplicity about it. There was no stress of work. I loved getting up in the morning, doing exactly what I loved all day to get to the next village and hope that they had a really cheap hotel that I could sit down, I could put my bike safely in the room and sleep and do exactly the same the next day for months on end. I loved it so much. And during that journey, I decided, am I on the right path? And the question to that was, Now, the answer to that was that I'm not on the right path. The path that I should be on is the sporting path. I was good as a child at running and football. I was better at running. I wanted to become a runner again. And I knew that age 27, there was still a possibility that I could become a runner. So when I got back from my kind of last major cycle trip, this is the start of 2010, January the 3rd, 2010, I said, I'll go out for an hour run. I lasted 400 meters. I was rubbish. None of the cycling fitness had translated across to running. But I'd set this fire alight in my belly that I wanted to become a professional runner, and I knew that I could become a professional runner if I looked at every single little part of it, the long run, the stamina, the endurance, the speed work, the interval. I did so much research. I was doing a lot of work in the gym. And I removed all the upper body work and put all that on the legs, the power muscles. And I was getting fit for purpose. I'd got fit for purpose before when I was playing rugby and football, but now it felt so much more fit for purpose. And you could see it in terms of the results, in terms of minutes and times. And very quickly, within the 5-month period, I got to a sub 40-minute 10K. And I ran an 18:30 for the 5K, and then I ran a 16:40, which I think, just off the top of my head, is 3 minutes 20 per kilometre. My thinking then was, if I can run 3:20 per kilometre for 5K, to run 8 of those plus 2 kilometres, to run a marathon with 3:20 per kilometre will bring me at 2:20 marathon. If I can run a 2:20 marathon, then I can run a fast ultra marathon. That was my thinking. Like, I have the potential, it's just all about training. But it doesn't matter about your times. It doesn't matter about how fast you're running. If you're running 5 hours, 6 hours, there are people out there earning a living as professional runners that are running 4, 5, 6 hours for a marathon and 5Ks in 50, 60, 70 minutes. It doesn't matter what times you're running. What's important for companies is that you are relatable to the audience that you're trying to hit. So if you're a 45-year-old woman and think of how many runners there are in the world that are 40 to 50 that are women that love running, that are consumers in the running market. They buy running shoes, they buy running apparel, they buy things to do with, they buy the Camelback when they do an ultra run, they'll buy the watch, they're £400-500 for a watch. Think of all these things that are impressionable because of how we get at stuff now. It's no longer front page of Athletics Weekly, Runner's World, or whatever, that you're getting that information about who's won the race. You're getting that on a daily basis from social media. So companies need to see that you're telling a story. So the way that I would do it is, okay, find what what is different, and think about how much of yourself you want to give away. When I started, I was lucky because social media evolved from Twitter, where you type something and put a hashtag or an @ whatever and tag a company. It evolved from that to pictures and then to videos. So you could get your personality across much easier. And a lot of runners are introverted and a lot of runners are shy and they don't want to brag and they don't want to be boastful. I saw it that I need to talk about my results. I need to talk about my training. I need to give more of myself for that to be interesting enough for a large enough following to follow me, in order to show those numbers to companies, for companies to sponsor me. It doesn't matter how fast you're running to be able to do that. And you just need to be relatable to the similar types of people to you, or a bit younger, and who are also trying to follow the same journey, who are also trying to, if you're running a sub 50-minute 10K, maybe it's their lifelong dream to run a sub 50-minute 10K. Talk how you do that. And I remember like trying to get one of my first contracts. I kind of had to do everything. I had to bring other athletes on. We worked on the product line, we worked on the clothing line, we did absolutely everything you can think of. When I started to speak to athletes, I realized that athletes, like I said, they're really introverted and like really closed. They don't want to give themselves away. Guys that had been to the Olympics twice, they didn't want to post pictures on social media of them at the Olympics. They didn't want to post pictures of them running because they thought it was boastful. So those people are now at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers and cannot get contracts because although they're quick, you need to be the best in the world in order to not have any social media, in order to not have any story. So companies are going to look at your TikTok, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube, your website, everything that you're doing and how you're telling your story. So you have to be more open than you probably want to be. Do I like speaking to the camera? Like initially, it was daunting. Of course it's daunting, but how much am I willing to pay in order to become a professional athlete? It's not, if you look at it like a job, and you must do this, it's never the best person who gets the job. I worked in recruitment for 10 years. It's never the best person who gets the job. It's the person who is the best interviewer who can do the job. That's what's important. If you look at it like that, if you can present yourself really well and your times are improving, yeah, and it's important to do that. It's important to be on that progress. We're all in running because we want to get quicker. We're all in running because we want to better ourselves. So if you can tell that story eloquently and you could do it in a way that's relatable to people, and this is, hopefully this is what I'm doing now, then you can become a professional runner. And that's exactly how I would do it today. If you want more advice like that, then just please message me. Any topic you want me to talk about, I'll talk about. I love running, and when it comes back to talking to the camera, it's daunting at first thing. You don't want to do it. You don't want to put yourself out there. But I love teaching. I love getting kids into sport. I love coaching kids, and I love anybody that's trying to better themselves. I love that journey they're trying to go through, especially when it's not easy for them, especially when it doesn't come natural. There's something so magic about that. First of all, that we get the opportunity to do that, but second of all, that somebody's willing to put it out there and say that I'm going to go for 5K in 40 minutes. I'm going to try and do less than an hour for 5K. It doesn't matter how fast you're running. It's the fact that you're putting yourself out there. It's absolutely amazing. If you like this and if you want to see more videos like this, I talk about running all the time, and you can see my cat as well. So like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.